What's up, Toy Fam, and welcome back to another episode of the Totally Cool channel. Yes, Iron Man. We are gonna open and explore the Mark II ZD Toys Iron Man armor from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think some of you have seen the Mark I that we posted a few weeks ago. So this is a continuation of that series. We have a lot more from this series. We're eventually gonna go into the Hall of Armor phase. But for this one, just a brief intro, we are looking into the first intentionally designed by Tony Stark inside his laboratory, inside his home, where he decided, look, there might be something to this whole armor thing. Scrapped the plans for the first one. Told Jarvis to put it on his own private server. For those of you who would recall that movie, this was the Iron Man journey at its most There's a lot of humanity in the transformation from the bulky Mark One, the survival suit Mark One, to Tony Stark really getting into, I don't want to make weapons anymore. I want to use weapons to defend the weak. Transition of his character arc. So, without prolonging the agony, let's take a closer look. So on the right side says Marvel Iron Man and Zing Dong Toy. What's that? Zong Dong Toy. ZD Toy. Zong Dong Toy. On the left flap, left side, not much. There's no art. There's nothing compared to the Mark One, which had an art rendering on one side. So it just says Mark II. Simplistic. The silver packaging reflects the all silver tone of the Mark II, and you can see the Mark II in its what do you call this? In its step-by-step creation, when he was first making the boots, when he was first making the gauntlets, and then attaching it to the chest piece or to the arc reactor. The helmet was the last reveal when he donned it and did a test flight for it. So the back, it's all Chinese characters, if I'm not mistaken. These are Chinese characters. Only says Marvel here and Iron Man Mark II. And then you have Iron Man in an action pose. You've got, I assume that these will be included inside the blast effects for the repulsor and the jet boots. So the front is where all the action is. You have the first look at how Iron Man is going to look from this point on until the last Iron Man suit on Marvel's Endgame, the Mark 85. But the most prominent part here is the Mark II arc reactor. This one is more refined than the one that Tony built inside a cave when he was in captivity. And you still see the rivets, you still see the connection. It's not as seamless as the last Iron Man suit, but it's the rawest form of the modern Iron Man armor. So with that, let's open him up. Okay. Be careful when you're dealing with sharp objects, particularly with box cutters, but the plastic packaging is not difficult to open because it's just like a vacuum seal. So just rip the top just enough to get the finger into it, and then yeah, it opens pretty quickly. Okay, so the box is not as heavy as the first impression box is not as heavy as the Mark One. I don't know, for some reason this one is slimmer, more compact. Now, I did mention in a previous episode that the box is pretty tough. This one fell from I think a height of 6 feet, and you just see minor dents on it. So this is minor damage on the box. One thing I noticed is that it's got a pattern. It still has a pattern. Probably the chin or the mouthpiece or the mouth slit of Iron Man. I don't know. So let's open him up. It opens up like a closet, like a two-door closet. So just like the Mark 1. So it opens left and right, and you've got the same thing here, which is a cover for the toy inside. So there. It's nice. You know, in fact, you can put him. You can, I think, you know, if you're quite creative, if the others have this, you can put this in a, say, a poster and put them all together, like the Iron Man journey. So inside looks like a casket. Yeah, grim comparison, but so you have the clamshell, and there's a plastic lining. So take him out. Okay. Again, there's two layers to this, and the one with the actual figure, and the other one has all the accessories. This one, let's take this guy out. Okay. And then let's close that. See, there's that gaping hole of the arc reactor. Okay, this one. This is the accessory pack, or the accessory bundle. You have, just like the Mark 1, you have the stand that says Iron Man Mark 2. Okay. And you have, he has hands already. He has closed fists on the figure, but he has 3 different sets of alternate hands you can replace him with. And then you have 4 blast effects. I assume that the 2 go into the boot, so it looks like flight effects, and the other 2 come out of the hands like repulsors. So let's set this one aside. Let's set this aside, and let's focus on this guy. All right. So how do you open him? There's a protective clamshell on top of, there's a protective cover on top of the clamshell, which secures him from movement while he's in transit. You just have to take that top off. It's trying to turn into an ASMR video. That's got a plastic cover to protect the plastic from the plastic. There's a plastic. Talk about redundant. But yeah, nice. I haven't touched it yet, but it's I hope the construction and I hope the assembly is nice, but just while it's lying inside its protective packaging, I'm falling in love with it, you know. So let's get into it. Let's take him out. Set this aside. Let's focus on this guy. All right. I'm not touching him. I just took him out of the box. He stands on his own pretty well. Okay, pretty well. Now let's start with the neck. The neck tilts like a normal neck, left, right, up, down, a little bit, up and down. Shoulders, left, right, front, back. Now, I love this part. When you move this, the shoulder armor joins it. It also moves like that. So it's not just one piece. There's a hinge to this. Same thing for this one. So he has the shoulder movement, he has the bicep movement, he has the elbow movement, and he has the wrist movement. Pretty articulated. I love this. Articulation is just phenomenal. Now, he has the ab crunch. Can go back. It even goes up, goes down. Gives him a crunch, gives him a lot of poses you could put him in. Now, the hips, let's put this arm up. Hips. If you recall when he was trying to, you know, beat the height, the record of the SR-71, he had to pull this open so that the flaps would deploy and break the ice buildup. So the legs move like this. There's not much movement. There's not much in terms of, there's front movement, back movement, pretty anatomically correct. The shoulder, the knees have 2 joints. very large kneecap over there. Okay, so you can put him in that kind of pose. And the ankle also moves. Nice. I assume it does the same thing on the other leg, so we won't go into that. But yeah, amazing. Perfect. Okay, here's a secret. Remember when we talked about him opening this side so that the flaps would deploy and break the ice that built up and prevented him from flying? The flaps open. The flaps deploy. Slows him down, helps with flight control. Remember that scene when he was, and I'll put it somewhere here, when he was putting on the armor, this armor for the first time, and then he kind of rose up trying to test the flight surfaces, and then Jarvis said he's powering down, and he said, Tony Stark said, sometimes you have to run before you can walk, and then took him out for a test flight. He went around New York, I think. He went through the Ferris wheel and stuff with the kids dropping his ice cream cone. Yeah, that's it. Brings back good memories of the first Iron Man movie that started the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it. And that is because of the brilliance of Kevin Feige and the wonderful and the amazing acting of Robert Downey Jr. bringing Iron Man to life on the screen and in real life. So let's get into these alternate hands and see. Okay, now let's look at the alt hands. Which ones can accommodate? There we go. So this hand has a hole in it. And if I take this off, I hope I don't break it. There we go. So it's just a hole, a ball joint. And it slides right in. See? Okay. Now let's take one of these blast effects. Wow. Wow, just wow. So he can do this, he can do that on the side. Look at you. Boom. Iron Man. And if you pop the blast effect in the hole in his boot, like so. Another one here. He's in flight and he's fighting. Boom. Boom. Amazing. All right. Now, one thing in particular that I like a lot. Now, okay, the resin sticks, okay? Taking it out, probably because it's been in the box for a while, but it's sticky. I was wondering where that came from, and it's from the blast effect. So don't be surprised when you do. It does melt, or it's melting, I'm not sure. But it's just probably the clear coat on top of it. What I like about this figure is you can still see the rivets where the metals are joined, where they come together, where they form a not so seamless armor, which is a totally different look from the smooth and seamless Mark 85 nanotech armor. So this really starts the evolution of the Iron Man Marvel Cinematic Universe armor, because it's still very raw. It's still very, how should I say this, very primitive form of putting the armor together with rivets and the gears and all of that. But ultimately shows you that this is the start of something beautiful that's going to happen when he starts evolving, when Tony Stark starts figuring out what's wrong. And one thing about Tony Stark in the comic book and in the movie is that he always learns from his mistakes. So the first mistake that he thought about was the Mark 1 was too bulky. He put that size, put all that power into a smaller, more humanoid form armor, And this is, as I mentioned, the evolution of the Iron Man suit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and not just for the movie, but also for the comic book. And you can see that take its peak in the House Party Protocol in Iron Man 3. Will feature some of the armors shown in that movie in future episodes. So watch out for that. So let's get into the toy review. So, wow, just wow. And this is just a second episode of the ZD Toys Iron Man armor. And we've not even gone into the DLX30 territory, mind you guys. And that's going to take the armor into a whole new level. Especially when we feature the Hulkbuster. Yes, we do have the Hulkbuster. We're going to come out with that soon. But for now, let's focus on the Mark II. We do have a Mark II DLX30, and when we open that, we'll do a comparison. But for now, first impression, box art, amazing, very minimal, reflects the actual armor. Cool, 4 out of 5. Okay? When I opened it up, had very low expectations, and that's probably the secret to it. You have low expectations and see how it goes, see where it goes from there. But this one knocked it out of the ballpark. I love it. It's really reminiscent of the Iron Man Mark II reveal in the movie, and I mean, if it came with with Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr.'s voice, this would have been a 10 out of 5. But first impression is 4. Price point, that's where it takes the cake. It's 6 out of 5. This is only 1,300 pesos. Probably 2,500 if you have the Hall of Armor, which we do. We'll show that in a future episode, and we'll do a comparison with that also. It's probably the same figure, but it comes with the Hall of Armor case or stand or for whatever for a diorama. But for 1,300 pesos, this is a steal. The quality of the plastic, yes, it's still plastic. It doesn't have that metal Iron Man feel to it, but it does have the look. So the price takes the cake. 6 out of 5. 6 out of 5. Desk appeal, shelf appeal. I would love to have all of the armor featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including the ones in Iron Man 3, in a wall like this, with their own separate Hall of Armor case. Just floor to ceiling Iron Man armor from ZD Toys, and I would be a happy guy. With this, if this is the start of this toy line that we will be featuring on this YouTube channel or this channel, I have nothing but high hopes. I mean, look at the detail. Just the detail on the flaps. They didn't have to put that in there. For 1,300, no. But they did. And it's amazing. So, the texture, the color of the plastic, wow. You have to see it to believe it. I mean, blew me away. So, desk shelf appeal, 5 out of 5. ZD Toys, you knocked this out of the ballpark. Amazing. Amazing. I love this. I'd probably have a hard time putting him back in the box. I would love to display him on a shelf. So, overall, I want to give it a 5. But it might be hard to top the 5. So I'd give it a 4.5, 4.5. I'll give it a 4.5. That leaves room for improvement for the other ones. I hope they don't disappoint. But if you're an Iron Man fan, if you're a Marvel fan, if you're an MCU fan, if you're a Robert Downey Jr. fan, if you love the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1, this is a toy that you must have. I love it. I would love to get more into the line and show it to you. So I hope you follow us on more episodes. But yeah, I love this episode. This is probably one of my personal favorites. This is an upgrade from the Mark 1. This one is definitely better than the Mark 1. The way it's built, I can't say enough. I have to stop. Otherwise, this episode will go on and on and on. So, with that, ends our review. I hope it, give me a few more minutes to play with this guy. That's the end of our review. Thank you for watching, and thank you for staying tuned as I ranted on about how much I love this toy. But don't forget to click on like and leave your comment in the comment box if you want to see other toys and stuff. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already, so that you can see what we have and what we've posted so far. Click on the bell button so you get notified. If you're on Facebook, we go by the same name. Hit a follow, give us a follow, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you in future episodes, and happy collecting.